From Lone Elm Sports Park in Olathe, Kansas, this is the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals, brought to you by Tasmanian and Visit Olathe. My name is Brian Barish. This is the third and final round of the Women's Division Round Robin, and this, for all intents and purposes, is a de facto grand final. The 2-0 Denver Bulldogs and the 2-0 Minnesota Freeze. CC Sobral, Christina Sobral, a.k.a. CC, joins me in the commentary position from the DC Eagles. And CC, you've seen both of these teams play today. Denver has won their games 84-6. They've only given up a goal to Texas in their opening game. Minnesota has won their games 85-2 over both New York and Texas. Really not a whole lot to pick between the two of them. I mean, that really is. It's who can be cleaner with the footy, who can get the ball forward and make their chances count. These two teams played each other in the championship in the pool play at Nationals last year, and Minnesota defeated Denver in the first game en route to making the grand final, where they ultimately fell to the San Francisco Iron Maidens. It looks like they're double checking with. I think they're double checking because we were noting the absence of the scoreboard with the wind. But I will also tell you, CC, that one of the most famous victories in Nationals history came in this particular matchup between the Bulldogs and the Freeze, especially when you look at the Bulldogs had a 20-game winning streak at Nationals, and the Freeze won Page, then kicker, now Page fell on a kick after the siren, winning the game for the Minnesota Freeze, ending the Denver Bulldogs streak. The Bulldogs went on to win, but kind of a sign that all of the teams had kind of slowly caught up to them. And now I think we're starting to see that with this current crop from the Minnesota Freeze as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They're so competitive. They're very deep, and they have great players.
What has Minnesota done well in your observation from what you've seen?
They've done good at, or pretty good at talking to each other, making good passes, and like really the second efforts are what's making them stand out today.
Yeah, really so. And so we'll have to see how they go against this Denver Bulldogs side. We're underway, and a quick mark taken there by Caitlin Peterson. Peterson, a veteran of the national team, was on the Liberty Tour in 2017, goes inside looking for Jerry Johnson Chambers, and the ball will skittle out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Not a bad situation here. It's about 10 meters around. The Freeze heading from left to right. They're in the navy jumpers with the silver and white trim, while the red, white, and blue clad team is the Bulldogs. And Al Leonard will bang it out of the back pocket. It bounces up and away. It's picked up there by, I believe that's Liz Ed, and now here's Kathy Hoa. She dropped the footy, and it's picked up. Saigula was spun around by Rita Hill, meanwhile, and now here's Lindsay Kastanek, who's back, or rather Hallie Kastanek. Here is Jerry Johnson Chambers, who lost the footy. Hoa tried to pump it forward, and they get it out to Allie Dykes. Good job by Allison Leonard to find Dykes and try to clear the present danger. They're going to run on. Here is Poor Boy, harassed and thrown to the ground by Georgiadis. And has it been awarded as such? It has not. It has, yes. That's absolutely right. Yeah, it was a sling tackle. So here is Marissa Poorboy. We saw her at Western Regionals last year play in the forward line, and she kicked 2 extraordinary goals off the top shelf. She's going to play that one long. That takes a very odd bounce. Bounces free. Bounces forward now. Going back to get it is Paige Thel, their number 14. Gets a shepherd from Georgiadis, but kicks it right in the Shea Solis, who stays with the footy. Solis sends that one in towards the middle, looking for Bremner, who tripped and went over proverbial T. Slow to get up now, and the ball has gone out of bounds. Boundary throw in, but now Denver with their first chance inside the 40-meter arc. And it's going to be very important for Minnesota. How will their defense be in this game? Ball comes back into play. France knocks that one back. It's going to be picked up by Kylie Hahn. Hahn couldn't get that one to go forward. Pops up in the air. Poor boy takes the mark. Tries to settle down. Not 15. Has to play on quickly and does. Looking for Masher but couldn't find her. Ball gets skittled along the ground. Picked up by Georgiadis. Hill there very quickly. Georgiadis dropped the footy. No call. And the ball squeezes out. There's Ed. And we'll have a ball up or check that. Not Olivia Ed, but Olivia Keski, number 15. And it will be a free kick to Minnesota. Good back and forth opening, both teams parrying, feeling each other out. Here is Lindsay Kastanek, harassed nicely by Hoa, who's drifted down to the wing position now, and a high tackle on Georgiadis. Or Georgiadis is going to get the kick. It's on Solis, high contact. See the wind whipping. Here are the wind whipping through our microphones. Now when it's kicked forward, and I think that's going out on the full. I think both teams seem like they're feeling out each other out a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. It's been just going back and forth, obviously. Connect better.
And, you know, playing in this heat for 10-minute quarters, I think it's like, you know, you want to go all out, but you also are cognizant of the fact that this is your third game of the day and you still have 37 minutes to play in it. You don't want to leave anything out on the ground. Dykes is in there trying to mine the footy. There was Lynn, and it's going to be kicking in danger, I believe, and it is. And the free kick will go to Jessica Lynn. Lynn justed on the mark with Lauren Shelton, who's back playing, former USA Freedom product, goes to the right side, does Lynn, not the greatest of kicks. Johnson Chambers is there, has to take a long way around, and Kastanek, big tackle in there, and they wanted a call, and the question is, did they get it? No, out of bounds. Yep, thank you. Ball comes spinning back in the play, and Hahn able to get the hit out, not to advantage, and we'll do this all over again. You haven't missed a score yet. No score. 4.5 minutes gone. De facto grand final. It's interesting to note, CC, that if this game ends in a draw, Minnesota has the percentage advantage. So Minnesota doesn't even need to beat Denver. All they need to do is draw them. There's the first shot on goal, and it skitters through for a behind, waiting for umpire Daniel Estes, who points out the ambidextrous. Minnesota leads Denver 1-0. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard midway through the first quarter, 4 10-minute quarters. Again, playing that because of the heat. A high 95 degrees, 34 degrees if you do things in Celsius. Hallie Kastanek goes for a leisurely jog out the back. Now goes up the far side and finds her wife, Lindsay. Lindsay Kastanek kicks the ball, again going down the line, drops in front of Georgiadis, gets by Hill. Here is Ed, turns and fires, goes through. That is Shelton going after the footy. Bruce is in there as well. Bruce just got her foot to the ball. And it comes up in the middle. Here comes Kastanek. Had to get rid of the ball quickly. 1-on-1 contest. Oa and Leonard. Oa wins the footy. Gets it to her right foot up in the air. Marked by Dykes. They're going to pay it, and they should have. That is a very... She's...
Great intercept mark.
And she's strong.
She is. She's knocking the fish out, that's for sure.
Going to be playing for the USA Freedom Program when they head to Racine, Wisconsin, August 19th to play against Canada. She puts the ball with her long legs out to the right side, and the ball is dropped, but nice mark over the top by Kathy Oa. Hoa directing traffic. She is a sentinel in the forward line, but you kind of forget how well she is in the forward line, how she does in the back line. And she does across the half-forward flank. She finally sends the ball in towards the sticks. No, it's gone behind. It looked good coming off the book. It wasn't like one of my Aunt Becky's cookies. It didn't quite crumble into nothing, but they still get a point out of that, and it's 2-0 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 6:45 gone, first quarter. Brian Barish, Christina Sobral, our man Craig Campbell on the camera. And absolutely, listen, it's been hot, but no rain, other than some sprinkles before. I probably did, but you know, blame Barish. That's what we do here. As they get set to put the ball back into play, does Hallie Kastanek. Number of those long Denver championships. Ball pops in over the back of Hahn. Ed turns and fires. Knocked down by Dykes. Chased by Peterson. Peterson affected the handball. No, it's a good tackle. Great tackle by Kate Peterson, and she'll have a shot for goal 35 meters out. Look for the handball. Gave it to Hoa. Hoa lines up, kicks for goal. And 2 pies, please. Catherine Hoa puts Minnesota up by 8. The Freeze 1-2-8. No score for Denver. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. And that's just them playing smart, and a great job there by whoever that was to handball it off to, I forgot who it was who had the footy now. Oh, yeah, Peterson, Kate Peterson, thank you. Yeah, and that's the veteran. I mean, she's been playing almost since about the beginning of this Minnesota Freeze program. And to see them succeed, you know, there's a lot of women who have been around this program a long time. It's really great to see them come into their own. See how much it means to her as this one goes down inside the 50-meter arc, the 40-meter arc, as Hallie Kastanek able to extract it, finds Hill, immediately knocked down by Corey Daling, who is going to be headed to Racine as well. Here coming through the middle and trying to get it is Connor Lewis. Lewis squares up, kicks for goal, but it's off to the left. Minnesota is in control here. They just... You have the sense that if they get a couple of more goals, it's going to make things very difficult. They are kicking with the wind. 1-3-9 Minnesota, no score Denver, a minute to go. It just has that sense, CC.
I wonder if the wind will play, well, they're not switching sides at the quarter.
Correct.
So only at the half, so they'll have the wind the next quarter as well.
Yeah, so it's almost, there's some of these games, and we saw that in 2016, CC, when Denver was finally unseated by San Francisco down in Florida. The wind sometimes blows so hard, it's like a cricket match. The first team that has the wind in the first half sets a target, and then it's a matter of that second team kicking towards that end, reaching the target. Oh, big hit in there. That was a rough collision between, I believe, Saigula and Hallie Kastanek. It comes to the back, and clearing that one out was Gilmore, but Gilmore was taken down, and it looks like we're going to have a ball up. Or no, it's going to be a free kick, and I think that might be quarter time, and it is. Well, 10 minutes in the books, and Minnesota has taken themselves to a 9-0 lead on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Quarter time thoughts from you, CC?
This is exciting. We can't rule Denver out. They can come back in the next quarter and maybe change this game around.
Plenty of time, 30 minutes to go, and we'll have the second quarter when we return. Thanks to Tasmanian, thanks to Blundstone, thanks to George Harrison. While we're at it, you're watching the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals from Olathe, Kansas, here on USAFL.com. Second quarter of the final women's game here at the Super Regionals as Minnesota leads Denver 9-0, and we're kicking towards the same direction that we were in the first half, which means that Minnesota will have the wind. Saigoa dropped the footy, and Georgiadis is there to try and clean up the garbage, and the umpire crosses his arms and says, "Give that to me, we will ball it up." The ball up occurs in the center half forward position as Ed slaps it forward, but not to advantage, into the hands of Allie Dykes, who sends that one up the far side, bounces away from Leonard, but not from Wu, who just got the kick away. And the ball goes forward, and great tackle. Saigoa had it smothered, and they're going to call a free kick off the tackle. Yeah, it was a great tackle, and it earned them the free kick. What can Denver do? Wind has died down ever so slightly. And this is Lynn, I believe, Jessica Lynn, who has had a lot of the footy here across the 3 games we've called for the Bulldogs here today. Sending that one down. Knocked free. It's going to be a free kick. High contest, so what can Denver? Solis will have a free kick. Probably still 2 kicks from goal. Maybe 3. Yeah. It seems like they get under the ball a little bit here and holds it up, and that's what happens here. Pack forms. Thel tried to take it over the top. Uhl is there. Didn't get it. It's going to be dropping the footy. Yes. And now the Bulldogs, they'll have a crack here. It's Allison Bremner. And this is well within her range. Oh no, they're going to give it to Caitlin Masher, and we've said Masher's had some difficulty kicking the ball straight. Off of 2 steps, the kick is on the way, and that continues. But Denver on the board. Watch AFL scoreboard. 2 minutes in, second term. 1 point. Minnesota 139. The margin is 8. Yeah, that's the good thing about this kick-in now is now they have the opportunity to clamp down a little bit. And we'll have to see if they do. Comes out to the near side looking for Mary Ellenberger. And Big Shepherd. Great bump by Bremner on Lewis. I don't think Lewis was expecting it, but she's going to get the football and gets away. Great Shepherd thrown in by Ed on Hahn as that one is sent to the half-forward line, but cleaned up by Dykes. Has to go back to go forward, trying to clear that one out once again. And the ball is lost in the pocket and will go out of bounds. Great job. The physicality is ramping up just right enough. It's physical, but so far it's clean. I hope I didn't jinx that either. Boundary throw-in upcoming. Nominating looks like Johnson Chambers and Lindsay Kastanek. Kastanek knocks it down the Leonard. Saigola is right there. Saigola throws her opponent off the ball. A whistle and a free kick. And it will go the way of Denver. Doggies trailing 9-1. Winner of this wins the Super Regional Championship. Minnesota has only won. Oh, check that. They won on their own in 2019. Lewis! Oh, it could have almost got paid. And then holding in there was Bremner, and a little bit of pushing afterwards, but nothing major. They just got tangled up in each other. And it'll be a ball up. Minnesota won with Portland at the Western Regionals in 2016, won the Central Regionals on their own in 2019, and combined with Philly, Columbus, and a couple of other teams in 2022 to win the Eastern Regionals. So they're looking to try and win their 4th regional, but not if Denver has anything to say about this one. As Franz is able to get to it, that is great hands. Very lucky that Jessica Haas didn't get called for holding the ball for high contact. She dropped her hands. Lewis gets it out, but there were 2 blue jumpers waiting as that one is sent in over the top. 2-on-2 contest. There is Masher Mace trying to throw a shepherd in for Solis and also for McAleer. And it comes into the hands of Poor Boy. And it's a free kick to Minnesota, probably a little unlucky. But now the game, it is getting competitive, and both teams are about even though Minnesota holds an 8-point lead. This is the final we wanted, CC. This is absolutely the final, not necessarily just these 2 teams, but a very contested final match. As this one goes inside, it overcooks. There is Daling, who is going after now Johnson Chambers. That's got to be gone. Jerry Johnson Chambers. That's why she's going to be on the national team, folks. And this would be in her range, as the mark is Lindsay Kastanek, who stands, when she kicks it, it'll be 20 meters out. She's got to account for the wind, which is blowing slightly from left to right. The kick is on the way. It is dead center. Perfect. Goal to Jerry Johnson Chambers, and the Frees extend their lead on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 2-3-15 Minnesota, 1 point Denver. I love that sort of goal because it's a defense. It's a defensive goal because that's a defensive move, and then it's just a matter of converting. And Jerry Johnson Chambers did such a good job. We've seen her a little bit today, but she's just such a good player. And I remember when she came into the league in 2019, you could tell the prospect was there for her to do something more than just play for her club. It'll be great to see her play in Racine in August against Canada. As we have the ball up on the far side there. There's 4 minutes to go in the first half, and it's now a 14-point gulf between Minnesota. That is a fantastic kick, and the mark is taken by Benitez. Alexandra Benitez, 70 meters out, 2 kicks from goal. She's going to line up now and send this one inside the 40-meter arc. drops in front of Kojo as Lewis, and then O is going back. She picks it up, just throws that one onto the left. It stays in play and parried away by Poor Boy, met immediately there by Paige Thel, and the umpire says, give that to me, I believe. I didn't see an arm point. Yeah, I thought I saw him go up here. It was borderline high, but probably the right call there as a ball up. This is Masher Mace against Thel, and Thel and Masher Mace trying to punch away at the ball, and the umpire will ball it up once again. Umpire Jonathan Mills, the El Presidente. Oh, I am surprised that wasn't called because it didn't look like she played the ball at all. And they're going to do it again. Masher Mace just ran into Thel, and that's exactly what she did. She knew what was coming, and the ball hit the ground. Well, that's the kind. Listen, she is a very, very. She uses her strength well, does Masher Mace. Minnesota the other way. This is a great passage of play. Ellenberger coming back and takes the mark. Great job by Mary Ellenberger. I believe she's a rookie. Haven't seen her name before. And she kicks that one up over the top looking for Johnson Chambers, but it's chopped off by Allison Leonard. Leonard goes out the right side. They trail 15-1 to Denver on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Waning moments here of this third term. 2 minutes to go. As the ball goes up on the far side, the ball gets set up high, dropped in front looking for Bremner. Bremner dropped the footy. Got it away to Dykes, who had it smothered by Sygola. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking, mongrel up-country punt as the ball goes down. So I'm glad I said that without getting into trouble as the ball gets knocked free, and it's picked up there by Hahn, and Hahn sends that one up to the wide side. Chasing after it is Solis. She's watched by Ol. Ol picks up the footy and sends, or rather that's Thel, who sends that one long and strong and down the far side. And now over to get it is Kastanek. Lindsay Kastanek sends this one up high towards the boundary line. It hugs it like a teddy bear, and the ball tumbles out of bounds in front of the late arriving Jess Nelson. Good to see Nelly in the play as well. And on the Watch AFL scoreboard, with a minute 15 to go, Minnesota 2-3-15, Denver 1 behind. It is. And like I said, we expected this between these two teams. There's still a half of football to go. Masher Mace, again, going all the way down to the bottom of the well, and all she gets is a ball up for her troubles. It's interesting to see a lot of these tall players not afraid to bend down. They don't just give up in soccer and probably get up kicking in danger. They know, go and pick up the footy and then make a decision. Ball gets tossed in the air. Masher Mace and didn't see who that other player was, but we'll get it. I believe that's Daling out of the back. And here is Hahn, who sends that one in. It clean balls a player. There's Thel out of the back to get it away from Benitez and clear that out of there, as now it is Hoa against Leonard. And now Poor Boy is in. She was taken down without the footy. Absolutely, it's going to get called. Denver might run out of time here. There's 10 seconds to go. And they got to get it quickly. And see if they can at least get a mark before the hooter. They got to move. Somebody's got to tell them to move. Poor Boy kicks it. And that'll do it. Halftime in the final game of the women's division at the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals here in Olathe, Kansas. It's the Minnesota Freeze, 2 goals, 3 behinds, 15 points. Denver, 1 behind, 1 point only. And CC, we've been saying it, it's a very exciting game. I really don't think Denver's doing a whole that much wrong. I feel like they're playing them tough. They're getting their chances. They haven't converted them, but they've also been kicking against the wind. But now they're going to be having the wing, and now the question will be, as well as Minnesota's defense has played all day, and as much as Denver's offense has played well, which one of them is going to win out? Yeah, it's anybody's to play for. As we said, it's just 14 points the difference, and we'll find out what happens when we return to Lone Elm Sports Park. Lone Arm is something completely different. Here in Olathe, Kansas, so you're watching the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals here on USAFL.com. Third quarter about to get underway. CC went looking for her sunglasses, which was on her face. I was like, oh, you were asking for your sunglasses, right? And I was like, the ones you're wearing, right? It's a long day. We've been baking under the sun. It's the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals. Second half, the third quarter of this, essentially the championship game, as Minnesota leads Denver 15-1. We're laughing, but guess what? This is serious business as both of these teams trying to win a regional championship once again, as Denver won in 2017 and 2018. As this one is sent that one in, going over, and here comes Denver now. Has to go back, or that's she didn't. There's Benitez. It's cleared out, and it goes to Matcher Mace. Here's Matcher Mace, but she's waited there and pulled down in front. No, it's a behind. Oh, there was all sorts of stuff happening there. And in fact, it's gone through for a behind. And Denver gets their first point in some time. The last time they scored a goal was 17 minutes ago in real honest to goodness time. So it's 15-2, but with Denver with the wind. I mean, you never can tell, as Lauren Ull will put the ball back into play. She runs up the right side, boot the ball, comes off the joint. One-on-one contest, bounces away from Saigula. Leonard is there to challenge her. She drags her down, but just got the kick away, did Kaya Saigula, but it's picked off by Jessica Lynn. Lynn with the footy. She is about 80 meters out from goal. She will come forward and kick an ugly kick up on the far side, looking for France. Bounces in front of Lindsay Kastanek. There is Haas, who has the footy. And now it's sent forward by Minnesota. Chasing after it is Hoa, who has one of the 2 goals in the match, sending that one back the other way. And the ball now comes in. Here now comes Denver. That's Kastanek sending that one in. Knocked down nicely by the defender. And that was Georgiadis who was able to knock it down, I believe, as was Thel. It is getting a little chippy, and I'm not surprised. It's going to be a free kick, and it will go the way of Jessica Lynn. Lynn stands 45 meters out, trying to scramble the Jets. Boot the ball, sends that one on the way, marked over the top by Olathe Indrida daughter. From Iceland, and that's who had the play as well there. We saw one, but Indrida daughter doing a fantastic job. She's actually not the first Icelandic player. You guys have an Icelandic player, yeah. He's so it's interesting. And you guys actually played in Iceland a few years ago. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it's good to see her get in the play, and she's done pretty well. Here's Ed against Hahn, who has done very well in the ruck for Denver, and the ball goes out the far side. Now moving that one on and running onto it and picking it up is Kathy Hoa. Hoa with one hand goes into the middle, one-on-one contest. Great job by Jerry Johnson. Chambers to stay with it. Dykes is able to extract the footy, however, sends that one on. It'll be picked up by Lewis. Here comes Kastanek trying to chase her down. Got the kickoff, drops in front. Here is Ray Hale. Hale goes to go backwards. And getting away there is Ellenberger. Ellenberger and the whistle. It was contact away from the play. It'll be a free kick. Great job by Mary Ellenberger. And like I said, I think this might be her first season, and I'm really impressed with her. Minnesota's done, and I have to look it up. I wonder if she's a gridiron football player because Minnesota has added a lot of them. That's going to die in the square. It gets knocked free. Who's there for Minnesota? Georgiadis was there crashing in with Wu, and getting it away nicely was Leonard. That was Bremner who was trying to get away. Here is Lewis who is taken down. Bootlegging around is Dykes who sends that one forward, looking for Kastanek. Off of her shoulder into the air, slapped forward nicely, and chasing after it there is 23. That is Pfluger. Pfluger, another national teamer. 10 national teamers. Here is Thel. Throws that one onto the left. It's going to barely stay in. Lewis is going to watch it tumble out of bounds. Great job by the Freeze. They took that opening parry, and now they have they're doing a good job of asserting territorial play. They're doing very well, CC, especially at holding them down here in this half forward line. Out in the middle of the ground, going after it is Hoa. Hoa's going to go back to Thel. Thel throws it on to the left, goes out into the corner. Over to get it now, and digging after it is Ellenberger, but she'll watch it go out of bounds. And we are midway through the third term here on USAFL.com. Brian Barish and CC Sobral. Craig Campbell is on the cameraman is on the cameraman? No, he's on the camera, man. And we thank our Tasmanian. We thank visit Olathe here at Lone Elm Park. Big boom crash opera spinning around and swinging around on a sixpence. Looking for Daling as Georgiadis. Jerry Johnson Chambers couldn't get it. She picks it up, looking back to go to Georgiadis. Georgiadis gets away from Lynn. I don't know what that was, but apparently it was legal. Getting the ball forward. Here is Saigula. Yes, sir. Kaya Saigula goes bang, and Minnesota extends their lead. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, Freeze 3-3-21, Denver 2 behinds. Minnesota, they are for real. And I love the work that they do, the constant motion, the constant going after the football, and the clean play. Even when it doesn't come off, they stay with the footy, and a great job by Saigula to pick it up from an odd angle. That was not an easy kick to put it home. Now if you're Denver here, if you're Denver's coach, now if you're looking at it, what do you tell your team as we head towards the end of the fourth quarter? One goal would change things pretty dramatically. It's worth the live tally, by the way, is that Minnesota in this tournament has outscored their opponents 106-4 in 2 and almost 3-quarter games. Still plenty of time to go. Liz Ed couldn't get to it. Here is Wu, who tried to get it forward. Saigula stole the ball away, swings around on a dime, now puts that in front of Oa. Oa had trouble picking it up, it did. Gets away from a defender, throws that one onto the left. It carries across, and it's marked in front by Ellenberger. All right, Ellenberger's got to take her time. If I'm anybody else up there, I'm in her ear. Take your time, take a couple of steps, do what you did in training, and slot it home. And instead it goes off to the side, and it didn't miss by much. A missed opportunity to possibly put Denver away. 3-4-22 Minnesota. They're ahead by 20 points. 2 behinds for Denver. That's on the that's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Out to the near side now. Yep, this is what Hallie Kastanek, her leadership out of the back. We have a whistle. She ran too far. Wow, and a free kick now. So I would say about 25 meters in front. And let's see who they give it to. It is Ray Hale, number 67. Or sorry, Lauren Shelton, number 67. So now the question is, will Sheldon... She's left-footed. It's going to be short. It's going to be wide. And either way, it's marked by, it went out of bounds on the full, but it doesn't matter because it ended up in the arms of Hallie Kastanek. No, the umpire spread his arms. So it doesn't matter. It's a free kick and same result. And now Denver, what can they do here as they are starting to run out of time? With a minute 45 to go in this third quarter. Mark is taken over the top by Benitez. Denver trailing by 20 points. Throws this one on the right, does Benitez. Tracking back there is Olathe. Great job. And now out of the back comes Connor Lewis. Kicks that one forward. And ball goes down. Here is Matson over the top. That was a ill-advised handball, but Oa dropped the footy. And getting tied up there was Keski. And it'll be a Free kick on that far side. Marissa Poorboy, and there isn't much time left. In fact, about 30 seconds or so. Sends that one forward, looking for Thel. Benitez swings around, bootlegs around, kicks that one into the middle. Tried to knock down there by Ole. Good job by the Freeze. Ball goes out of bounds on the full, and that ends that. Minnesota looking to go into the three-quarter time break up by 20 points. And that's it. Three-quarter time at the Super Regionals in Olathe. The Minnesota Freeze are 10 minutes away from their fourth regional championship of any sort. The score, it's the Minnesota Freeze, 3 goals, 4 behinds, 22 points. Denver, 2 behinds. CC, how does Denver, how did they get back into this one?
I think that they just need to keep surging forward. I mean, they have the tools, they have the skills. They just need to convert.
A lot of tired players out there.
Yeah, they played 2 games in 90-plus degree heat.
But they got 10 minutes left. They got to leave it all out there, and we'll see what they can do when we come back for the fourth quarter. You're watching the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals here on USAFL.com. 10 more minutes to go. That's all that stands between the Minnesota Freeze and the Super Regional Championships. They lead the Denver Bulldogs 22-2. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Brian Barish, Christina Sobral, and Craig, our cameraman, here as we get set for the final 10 minutes of the women's division. Can Minnesota hang on and win their fourth regional championship, or can Denver pinch their third? They need 4 goals, and they need it in a hurry. Umpire John Mills tosses it to the heavens, and we're underway once again, and being held up as Kathy Hoa, being held in there by Rita Hill, and the ball gets tossed to the head. Those are 2 Freedom members as Ed knocks the ball forward for Minnesota, knocked backwards by Iris Wu. Wu sends that one forward, and over to get it is Franz. Franz sends that one in, but right to Paige Thel, who gets it the heck out of there. Into the middle of the ground, and it's marked by Connor Lewis. Lewis will play on, send that one for goal from 50 meters out. It just goes off to the left. That would have been an exclamation point in bold and italic print. 3-5-23 Minnesota, 2 behinds Denver. You played against her you played against her twice. You played against her last year at regionals and last year at and actually, didn't you play with her at alongside her at regionals too?
I did. I was on one of the combo teams, I think, in their first game against New York.
Yeah.
She is a great player. She reads the ball incredibly well, she's very incredibly agile and has a great build.
She's just a wonderful person as the mark is taken down. And I'm sorry, Connor, I'd forget your field of specialty, but she's a PhD as well. She is an amazing, amazing personality and a darn good football player as well. As the ball comes down, and looking for it is Pfluger, who gets the footy into the middle as Ed has to track back and take the mark. Liz Ed, who also played in that tournament last year, really broke out in the ruck. She has ascended very, very quickly, picked up, and great job to stiff arm away Peterson there by Hallie Kastanek. As the ball goes through, Ed is coming over. Benitez is on her hammer, comes out into the middle of the ground. Good shepherd thrown in there by Oa. And then Nelson was able to go all the way down to the bottom of the mine. It comes to Thel, who sends it back, and the mark is taken in the back, I believe, by Cassie Wilkerson. Wilkerson, with 2 minutes gone, 8 to play. Minnesota, with every second that passes by, getting a little bit closer. Marissa Poorboy turns around. Looking up the far side. Corinne Franz couldn't get it. Ball up on the far side. Makes a player miss and now sends this one back in towards Hahn and Ed, and the ball will go out of bounds, the 2 rucks. And we'll have a boundary throw in wing position, opposite side. I mean, in spite of the fact that the margin is now 21 points, CC, the game has been intense and exciting from the first ball up. And here's the thing with Denver as well. They went 1-2 last year in the Western Regionals, losing to San Francisco and Seattle. And they played well, but you could tell that they lost to better teams. irrespective of what happens, they have played incredibly well today, and they are not done yet as they move the ball forward. Or rather, that's Thel who gives it to a cutting Lewis out of the back. She comes up to the near side. It bounces in front of Ellenberger. Ellenberger able to get it by Castanek. Clean ball's Daling. And now here's Peterson chasing after it. Good job to get the ball around from her. And Dykes throws in, and it's going to be a push in the back and a free kick. They're going to call it on Peterson, and so it'll be a free kick to Kim Gilmore, number 24. Gilmore throws that one on to the right. Wu goes through her hands, picked up by Lewis. Lewis sends that one towards the top of the goal square, and it is picked off by Callie Castanek. Castanek comes through, sends that one up on the far side, and the ball is dropped. Here comes the bounce from Poor Boy, who lost the footy, taken down by Saigula, and then kicked Al Leonard right in the face with the ball. And there's a lot of damage out of that play that didn't really amount for much. It will be a free kick to Denver. Looks like she's running off. Is that Al Leonard? Yeah. Yeah. That did hurt. So that's from the other field we play on. Sends this one back the other way. Thel, juggle mark, she'll play on. Sends that one back from whence it came. Here's looking for Hoa. Clean balls Dykes, but it's picked up by Lynn, who ski jumps that ball high up in the air. Wu going after a crash boom opera. Ed got sent backwards. Now looking for McAleer, who's been relatively quiet. Indira's daughter going after it now, and it's picked up, handballed back. There's Thel on her left foot. Sends that one forward. Chasing after it is Hoa. Johnson Chambers, who kicked that magnificent goal early in that first term. And then finally, it's Saigula who sends that one forward. Not able to take the mark on a sliding opportunity is Hallie Castanek, and she has earned a free kick. So it's Johnson, Chambers, Oa, and Saigula who have the 3 goals. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, it is 3-5-23 to 2 behinds. And with 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go, roughly, Minnesota is en route to a regional championship. Here is Lewis. Shot for goal. Is that going to get all the way there? It's home! I believe that was Corey Daling who was there, but it is just about over. That will do it. The Minnesota Freeze are going to win the Super Regionals Women's Division 4-5-29, and Corey Daling doing a fantastic job of running onto the play. We do. I'm starting to look at that now, and I believe that might be Lauren Shelton who is down. But it also looks like cramps. She had gone after the ball as well, but it looks like she's going to be okay. As the ball comes back in the middle, 4-5-29 Minnesota, 2 points for Denver. Just over 3 minutes to go, and you'd have to think that it might be a bridge too far for the Bulldogs, but they have their heads up and their tails up as the ball comes back, trying to pick that one up, and here is Thel who gets it away, throws that one on for Saigula, who takes the mark. Saigula had a big goal as well. As we give Daling her due. Saigula waits. Sends that one for goal. Marked, no, dropped by Lindsay Castanek as they've put a lot of these players back on defense, and it hasn't really stopped this Minnesota free. Here is Connor Lewis again, just out of the reach. They've got Daling it back one more time. She tries to keep the ball in play, does from the outside of the boot. Oh, it goes across the face, stays in play for a minute, and it goes out of bounds in front of Lewis. Daling said, you know what, I've kicked one regular. Let me see if I can do a little with a little prestidigitation. But not to be. Yeah. Those are moral style points. 2 minutes to go. 27-point lead for Minnesota. Shot for goal. Nope. Oh, it does. Give that to Jessica Haas. Fifth goal, and that's just a little something extra. The Minnesota Freeze 5-5-35, and Denver two behinds, a minute and 40 seconds to go unofficially. I mean, hats off. This team is for real, and be interesting if you're Seattle, if you're San Francisco, watching this match and thinking, all right, we're going to have a battle on our hands when we get to Florida.
Yeah, one thing I've seen Minnesota do extremely well is setting their walls and making it very hard for Denver to get anywhere.
Ball comes back in the air as it is Hahn against Ed, who is just she's cramping up a little bit, but guess what? There's only a couple of minutes left. Wu sends that one forward, and just getting that one away was Pfluger, and their ball's on the far side. Here comes Denver. They are not giving up one iota here in this match. Sending that one forward was France, who sends that one forward. 45 seconds to go. Here is Thel. Thel out of the back, sends that one up on the far side and finds the safety of the boundary line where more time is going to ebb away. The Minnesota Freeze joined with Portland to win the Western Regionals in 2016. They won the Central Regionals as their own side in a 4-team field in Denver in 2019. They joined up with Philly and Columbus and Cincinnati in 2022 to win the Eastern Regionals. And for the fourth time in their history, they are going to win a regional championship. Pretty good for a team that hadn't finished any better than third at nationals up until last season. And this is a credit to Brent Fisher and all of these women, the veterans and the rookies alike. And that is it. The Minnesota Freeze are your 2023 USAFL Super Regional Women's Division champions. The final score in the final game, the Minnesota Freeze, 5 goals, 5 behinds, 35 points. The Denver Bulldogs, 2 points only. Congratulations to both teams on a great job just to get to this final game. And as we sign off of this one, we'll do the quick math and tell you that the Freeze outscored their opponents 120-4 in their 3 games. Minnesota played well, but you know what? This game was always on its edge up until that fourth quarter, CC, and that's because Denver played so well throughout. And you know what? The scoreboard doesn't reflect it, but Minnesota really had to earn that victory.
They really did. They went hard the entire time, and I think for me the difference was just them setting the walls and not letting Denver really get too offensive.
Yeah, that's the point. And Minnesota really stuck in and really didn't let their defense have a break. They really kept it up, especially in that fourth quarter. Well, congratulations to Mark Fisher and the Minnesota Freeze on winning the women's division. As we said, it's their 4th regional championship in their history. Our thanks to CC Sobral for doing a fantastic job on special comments here today. Of course, Craig Campbell, our camera person, and our thanks to you, in addition to our sponsors such as Blundstone, Tasmanian, and Visit Olathe. We have more action. Stick around for it. You're watching the 2023 USAFL Super Regionals. I'm Brian Barish. So long for now.